tonight. The Grey Cup is coming back to Saskatchewan in 2027.
Just ecstatic. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And
new video shows how a Saskatoon murder suspect changed his story during a police interview. And horses helped her heal from brain surgery. Now this Gravelberg woman is paying it forward at her ranch.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Monday, October 27th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. Big news for football fans and for the province. The 2027 Grey Cup will be played at Mosaic Stadium. Laura Sharpaletti was at Monday's announcement and has more on our top story.
Saskatchewan pride was on full display Monday at Mosaic Stadium, where the CFL, Rough Riders, and city and provincial dignitaries announced the Grey Cup will once again touch down in the capital.
just ecstatic. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and when you do put forward a bid, at the end of the day, once you do that, you really want to win it. You do, because you get really vested in the process.
It's the second time in 5 years the Riders will host the CFL Championship, and it's just the team's fifth time hosting in the Grey Cup's over 100-year history. The City of Regina says it's committed $1.5 million in cash and in-kind spending for the event. That includes transit shuttle and police support. And it's expected fans will join the team effort.
The community will rally behind this event. We'll have great volunteers, great events happening. And yeah, the economic spin-off of an event like this for our city is incredible. We'll be filling hotels, we'll be filling restaurants, and the city will come alive.
This is an opportunity for us in 2027 to yet again highlight just the strength of the fan base that we have in Saskatchewan.
For the first time ever, the 2027 Grey Cup Festival will be hosted entirely indoors at the Real District, including the Street Festival.
To create the opportunity right next to the stadium where you can come in, Craig mentioned it, you can take your winter jacket off and not have to think about it for the entire day, enjoy everything that's going on. That was a real selling point for us. We thought there was a lot of innovation there.
And now, all hands are on deck as Saskatchewan prepares to welcome sports fans from all over the country to Mosaic Stadium on November 7th, 2027. Laura Sharpaletti, CBC News, Regina.
Premier Scott Moe has issued an apology to the residents of Denare Beach. More than 200 homes were destroyed when a wildfire swept through the northern village in June. Despite the destruction, Moe only made his first visit to the community in September. On Monday, Moe faced questions from the NDP over the government's response to that fire. That's when Moe rose and publicly apologized.
Mr. Speaker, there's a period of time when there should have been a leader of this province in the community of Denare Beach to provide the support, personal support, Mr. Speaker, for those families. And I wasn't there. And for that, I apologize to the folks that are here today, through them to the other community members in Denare Beach. But I also offer to them that this will be a government that is going to work with them every step of the way as we rebuild, and not just the community, as we rebuild not just buildings and houses, but as we provide you with the opportunity to have the confidence that you and that next generation is going to be able to rebuild homes in Denare Beach.
And some residents of Denare Beach were at the legislature Monday. They thanked the Premier for his apology, but say more support, funding, and effort are required as the community rebuilds. Saskatchewan's NDP opposition wants action on homelessness. Deputy Party Leader Vicky Mowat says the situation is especially dire in Saskatoon. She points to city fire department numbers on homeless encampments. Fire officials counted over 1,200 encampments this year as of September 1st, just shy of the total encampments recorded on all of last year. Fire crews also cleared over 350 encampments up to September of this year, compared to 218 in all of last year.
This absolutely reflects what we see every day, going out for a run, being in the community, being on the streets, being in the parks. You see encampments, and it's heartbreaking to see people living this way. We have winter coming in Saskatchewan. It is a hostile climate. No one should have to live this way. Everyone should have a safe place to live.
Mowat says the government can take immediate action to alleviate the crisis. She's calling for rent control and to restore direct income support payments to landlords. The NDP also wants thousands of vacant government housing units to be repaired. Accused killer Andrew Rosenfeld spoke with police hours after the death of his girlfriend, Nikira Brown. The videotaped interview with a major crimes detective is now an exhibit at his second-degree murder trial. CBC has obtained a copy of that interview, and Dan Zakreski brings us the story.
I don't know how they got in, because I went and laid back in bed. They came in and then they shot her and they left.
Nikira Brown got shot in a home invasion. That was Andrew Rosenfeld's story to Saskatoon Police Sergeant Brock Linden, and he stuck to it for about 30 minutes.
That's because I don't know. Because she asked me that if she did or if they did, or I don't want to answer that anymore. I'm sorry, but I don't. Okay. Because I don't know. No, it could have been that she did that, or they could have been them. I don't know. I don't want to answer that. I'm not going to answer something that I don't know the answer to.
By the end, Rosenfeld claimed that Brown could actually have shot herself. Witnesses at his trial say Rosenfeld and Brown were both members of the Terror Squad street gang. Rosenfeld says it was a hard life.
And she's been kidnapped by TS, she's been drugged by TS, she's been beaten by TS, she's been everything by TS.
The night Brown died, 2 other gang members were in the apartment with the couple. Brown had recently been promoted in the gang. They were planning a mission to punish another gang member who owed money.
And I didn't want her to go. I said, no, you're staying home. And she's so about it that she's like, no, and she's just yelling at me. It's like, okay, I said, go ahead, you're like, then I guess.
After a week of evidence and witnesses here, what happened inside that apartment has only gotten murkier. Now, we know that Brown and her friends left the apartment to go on a mission, but then she went back to get something. She was dead within minutes. She had been shot in the head with the gun underneath her chin.
Did you move a gun? No. Did you see a gun? Only in the person's hand.
Police recovered this sawed-off rifle hidden in the apartment. The trial continues all week. Dan Zakreski, CBC News, Saskatoon.
More details about what happened the night Misha Pavlik died have emerged at the trial for the man charged with Pavlik's second-degree murder. The 19-year-old was stabbed to death at a campground near Regina Beach during a graduation party in 2006. Aaliyah Marco Omene has been following that trial.
A witness who testified at the Court of King's bench in Regina Monday says she saw 2 knives on the dashboard of a car belonging to the man accused of killing Misha Pavlik. We can't name the 36-year-old accused because he was a minor at the time of the incident in 2006. Kayla Kemp testified an altercation occurred that night between her group and another girl who had been sleeping in a tent. While trying to get into it, Kemp says she heard the accused offer to cut the tent open with a knife. The jury also heard from the girl who had been sleeping in the tent that night. She can't be named because she was also a minor at the time. She testified that she didn't hear or see any weapons that night, but she said the accused did come up to her after she was assaulted. She said the accused told her, "That's what you get." She says there had been no animosity between her and the accused at the time. Another witness, who was also a minor at the time, says a phone call at Regina Beach sparked strange behavior. She testified that the group had gone to the beach after a number of altercations that night. The witness says that's when the accused received a phone call that Pavlik had died. And he started to ask Scott Nelson, another partygoer, where the 2 folding knives were. The witness says shortly after, the accused ran off with some of their friends to talk privately in the car. The trial continues all this week. Aaliyah Marco Omene, CBC News, Regina.
Over 500 complaints have been registered with the province's First Nation Health Ombudsperson since the position was established 2 years ago. It was created by the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations to work against racism and discrimination against Indigenous people in the healthcare system. The complaints highlight both positive and negative experiences Indigenous people deal with on a daily basis. 2/3 of the complaints were associated with the Saskatchewan Health Authority.
The report paints a stark picture of neglect and inadequacy, highlighting the failure to provide essential services and uphold the sacred treaty right to health.
In a statement, the Saskatchewan Health Authority says it welcomes the perspective shared by the Ombudsperson's office, and it will review the report and work with the Ombudsperson to address the concerns. Well, Wascana Lake is clearly far from being frozen over, especially after the gorgeous weekend weather we had. So there is still time to do what these folks are doing. Grab a canoe and hit the water. It seems like we are saying goodbye, however, to those above seasonal temperatures this week. We are in for some more seasonal and perhaps cloudier and rainier and maybe snowier weather too. I'll have all the details in your forecast after the break. The centre of Canada's football world is right here in Saskatchewan. The Riders are getting set to host the CFL West Final in a couple of weeks. The Vanier Cup will be in Regina on November 22nd, and this past weekend was also big for the province's 2 university and junior teams. Dan Plaster wraps up the weekend of football in Saskatchewan.
To the outside, Montour cuts back to the middle. He's got a first down and more. Is he going to get into the end zone? Touchdown, Thunderbirds!
The Regina Rams finished the Canada West regular season with a rare Friday afternoon game at Leibel Field hosting the UBC Thunderbirds. With a win, they would still have a chance at first place in the conference. The Rams held a 15-point lead with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter when the desperate Thunderbirds stormed back to win it in overtime 31-29. The win punched UBC's ticket into the playoffs and gave the Rams a very hard lesson heading into their Canada West semifinal next week against Manitoba.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day we got to put this behind us as fast as we can. So tomorrow we got to film at 11, and then we're all in on Manitoba and just trying to play. Like there were some bright spots today. I think we played really good at times. Just at the end, just couldn't execute, couldn't finish. So
yeah, we play. It feels like we played Manitoba a bunch in these past 3 years. So we know what they're all about. They know what we're all about, and we just got to get back, watch the film from this game, learn, and back to our process.
The Rams will host the Bisons on Saturday at 5 p.m. at Mosaic Stadium, with the winner heading to the Hardy Cup. With first place wrapped up, the University of Saskatchewan Huskies welcomed the Manitoba Bisons. From the opening kickoff to the final whistle, it was all Huskies. They finished the season with a 7-1 record and first in the Canada West with a 31-12 victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's special, to be able to end the season on a win. That's good. Going into playoffs on a win, that's what we try to do as well. Obviously, we got to win out now for the rest of the season. That's the goal. So every week, just want to know. That's our focus.
So we want to set ourselves up, but we also want to make sure that we're playing good football. We're going to the playoffs, and that we understand just the gravity of the situation. We got to be at our best for 3 hours next week. UBC is a good football team. So if we're not at our best, then that's bad on us.
The Huskies will welcome the UBC Thunderbirds on Saturday afternoon at Griffith Stadium. Kickoff is set for 2 p.m. The great weekend of football ended with a classic at Mosaic Stadium. It was the Prairie Football Conference Championship game between the Regina Thunder and the Saskatoon Hilltops. The Thunder held a 24-9 lead in the fourth quarter, only to see the Hilltops storm all the way back to tie it and send the game to overtime. The Hilltops completed the comeback and won in overtime 30-27 to capture the title and a shot to win their 24th national championship.
We're going to regroup, focus on ourselves for Okanagan. We got a week to rest and recover so that when we come in, in the second week, we dominate and we practice dominating against Okanagan.
The Hilltops will host the Canadian Bowl on Sunday, November 8th, 1 p.m. at SMF Field. Dan Plaster, CBC News, Regina.
And no matter the outcome of those games, we've had some gorgeous weather for those matches over the weekend, and we continued that stretch of weather into Monday. Regina sitting at a nice 8 degrees as the sun begins to set over the city. And not only was it warm on Monday, but we actually set temperature records when some of those games were being played over the weekend. Specifically on Saturday, Broadview, the warmest at 22 degrees there. And look at the bottom of your screen at La Ronge, breaking a record that was set back all the way in 1937. Lots of other locations breaking records as well. Didn't quite get into record territory for Monday, though. Temperatures, for the most part, hovering around the mid-teens for a lot of locations, including Regina and Saskatoon, kind of getting up around 11 or 12 degrees there. But you see some cooler temperatures up in west central and northwestern Saskatchewan, and that is because of this. You see that system that is churning away in the far northwest corner there. Yes, that is snow that is showing up on the radar, and there is a very good chance that that is going to continue moving through northern Saskatchewan as we get into Tuesday, although should be dissipating as we get through the afternoon. Mostly a snow event according to this model here that we're watching. For south and central, we'll see some sunshine for Tuesday before we're watching another system moving through on Wednesday, which could bring some rain to the south and maybe some snow to central portions of the province before that changes over to snow as we get a little bit into Thursday as it moves into eastern sections of the province. So for northern Saskatchewan, if this falls as rain, there is the possibility of upwards of 10 millimeters in some spots. But most models showing a snowfall at this point, and there could be a few centimeters, maybe a little bit of accumulating snow here and there as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. But for south and central, with the mostly a rain event that's expected, as of this point, not looking like a ton of rain moving through, but still could be picking up a few millimeters sort of here and there. We will be watching some gusty winds, though, as those systems make their way through. For both Tuesday and Wednesday, look for those to pick up and could be seeing gusts over 60 kilometers an hour at times in southern Saskatchewan as we get into Wednesday evening. But otherwise, we're calling it a mostly sunny day for Regina on Tuesday before that system moves through Wednesday with those gusty winds. Clearing out is a little bit as we get into Thursday and Friday, but look at those temperatures dropping slightly below seasonal before we return to more seasonal conditions for Saturday and Sunday, and our skies continue to clear out into early next week. For Saskatoon, better chance that we might see some showers or flurries for Tuesday. Definitely Wednesday, I think, though, is still the better chance. And then as we get into Thursday and Friday, we stay mostly cloudy with a chance of showers again for Saturday. Sunday and Monday, we do get the sunshine back. But look at those overnight lows, creeping a little bit closer to where we should be this time of year. There are some more days that we're going to be seeing below the freezing mark. Well, a Saskatchewan woman says horses made a huge difference to her as a child. In fact, they were integral to her recovery after brain surgery. Now she's paying it forward at her Gravelburg ranch. Jenny Whitfield has her story.
She walks the kids over to the cookies and be like, it's treat time.
Natasha Quigley has always loved horses, but over the years, she's come to appreciate how much we can learn from them too.
I don't know. I don't give you any more than that. That's you guys have to figure it out.
Quigley has turned her ranch near Gravelburg into a wellness facility where she uses horses to teach people life skills, like how to work through obstacles, solve problems, improve communication, and become more confident. 12-year-old Liam Smith says he started coming out to Quigley's ranch a few years ago. At the time, he says he was struggling with anger.
I got mad very easily back then. And I feel like doing this, it's taught me to just keep my head up and roll with it. It started to change me because, before I used to not communicate at all what I was mad about. And since basically this is all about communication, it just, something clicked. It made me want to talk about my feelings more.
Quigley also knows what it means to have horses change your life. When she was 9, doctors discovered she had a non-cancerous brain tumor.
To get the tumor out, it was the size of a small grapefruit or a large orange. They had to remove part of my balance center. So because of that, I wasn't possibly or potentially going to be able to walk properly. So, and I wasn't going to give up my horses. They were part of me already at that point.
Horses helped her regain her balance and confidence. Now she wants to help her horses help others, like Liam.
Being able to offer a service that allows you to come out of your shell and find strength in whatever. It's heartwarming and it's empowering, and I know I'm on the right journey.
Walk, Rose, walk. The work happening here, it gives new meaning to the term horsepower. Jenny Whitfield, CBC News, Gravelburg.
Well, we were thrilled to welcome students from Regina Huda School into our studios in Regina Monday. They had a chance to check out our news set to see how we do the news. They also checked out our weather set and learned how to use a green screen as well. And they even got a lesson, as you see there, in how to shoot video on our cameras. Big thanks to all of them for coming by. Stay with us. We're back after the break. In Duck Lake, residents are pushing back against the plan to sell the town's naming rights. Mayor Jason Anderson says the money could help pay for infrastructure, but many say the town's history shouldn't go up for sale. Now, a new Facebook page has become the hub of a growing campaign to stop the change. Supporters have also launched an online petition, now with hundreds of signatures. They say Duck Lake's history as a key site in the 1885 Northwest Rebellion deserves to be protected.
For the Métis population of the town, this is just another situation where they're trying to erase our heritage. We're going to start campaigning or canvassing the town, trying to make sure that everyone knows what's at stake here.
Council voted 3-2 in favor of putting the town's name up for sale, but the mayor says any proposal would still go to a public vote before it becomes official. Well, temperatures through south and central sitting really pretty much at freezing overnight, give or take maybe a degree or two in either direction as we see some cloud cover building in, especially to central regions. That's because of that system that's moving through northern Saskatchewan, which will start to bring some rain or snow overnight. By Tuesday morning, that is mostly in the northwest corner of the province still, but it'll slowly make its way eastward. Again, mostly impacting far northern sections of the province. A few centimeters of accumulating wet snow possible there, but should be staying above the freezing mark for daytime highs for the most part. South and central, we will see a little bit of cloud cover, especially through central sections getting into the day as a result of that. And again, many areas, including Saskatoon, looking at a chance of some rain or snow before that moves out as we head further into the afternoon and get some clearing. Southern Saskatchewan, we should be looking at mostly sunny skies and those temperatures getting up into those upper single digits, although it will still be a pretty breezy day for many of us. And before we leave you, hundreds of people dressed in vibrant costumes and skull-like makeup have filled the streets of Mexico City. They're marking the beginning of Day of the Dead festivities. The celebration is a tradition in which families honor deceased loved ones and celebrate life's continuity. Among the groups marching in this year's parade is a 2S LGBTQ+ collective that includes nearly 200 artists, stylists, and designers. Day of the Dead is celebrated on November 2nd. And that is our news for this Monday. For more news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/Sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel or download the CBC News app on your smartphone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching.